I'm Julie Miller. I was with the Healthy Homes, Healthy Families project. We had a coach, and this was in the early part of 2011.
I'm Bonnie.
We were somewhat of a test project. The project was getting started, and they wanted to have an opportunity to do a home visit, to do somewhat of a cold call, and have some interaction with their delivery of information and their organization of their information. So we agreed for them to do that, realizing that we would benefit from it. So as well as they would, but I felt like we benefited more than they did. And I had an interview by the coach, and that kind of brought the information to the forefront as far as some of our selections, and that we were doing a little bit better job than we thought we were. But there were some things that we were just tanking on. That we were doing a very, very poor job as far as selections that were in the pantry, so to speak. And so that benefited us tremendously hearing that again, because it's a lot of information we've heard through the years, and she's probably heard the pyramid and the plate and all that through the years. But it's just having somebody in your home kind of walking you through. And I think we actually went and grabbed a few things from the pantry. There was a couple of products that we were doing for school lunch. And so we were asking her insight regarding the packaging and how something was viewed as a 100-calorie snack that compared to what she was asking as far as fruits and vegetables and good selections. So that was, and the physical fitness piece, she did a lot of encouraging as far as log, making sure that we write down everything. And we'd heard that before, but we're still not doing too great of a job with logging our physical fitness activities. But we do try to keep those on the radar and keep those going every week. The coach was extremely helpful. She was extremely cheerful. She had a lot of information. It was a lengthy interview with us, but it was very important for us to give the information, but for her to be able to process it. And she's kind of the inventory component. And then when she came back and gave us basically a readout, it wasn't just strictly her ideas or her thought process. She actually came back and put it in some sort of a formulary. It sounded like it came out of some sort of a software program. And then they came back and gave us a printout of where we were doing very well, or where we looked good and where we needed maybe some improvements. And so that was good, because it seemed like it was an outside view, and obviously I didn't take it personally in any way whatsoever. It was very, very helpful, and the way she delivered it, and so it was she was very approachable. So the information came to us in a very pleasant delivery. So we were real pleased with her. There were some things that we had some questions about that we were thinking that fell into the fruit category that really was a vegetable category, or that we thought was a vegetable and was really a fruit category. So we did notice, I think with a lot of people that are active, a lot of people that have busy lives, that we were a little heavy in the carbohydrate area. But we kind of had figured that, the pastas and the rice and the breads and the cereals and all that. So we knew that, and so we realized through discussion with our coach that was something we needed to tone down that color, if you will, and kind of crank up the greens a little bit more, whether it's broccoli or asparagus or celery and that sort of thing. For me, it becomes just one of those life lessons. I mean, it's just something that she's going to need to know forever, because the choices are out there. There's just, it runs the gamut as far as what your options are, whether it's fresh produce to, extremely highly processed items that you can purchase all in the same store, and sometimes within the same price range. And so knowing that what it does, and that truly our bodies have to have the fuel, and what's a loaded fuel that's good, and what's an empty fuel that does you no good whatsoever. So I think having that information come to her from someone other than me, and then hearing it from somewhere other than maybe reading it out of a textbook. The coach was very interactive. She was a very active young lady. I think she had actually played sports or did soccer, or she was very active in
cross-country.
She was actually a cross-country runner. And so there was an interest that my daughter had with her, because she was now we're hearing from an older athlete of what she's actually using as her fuel to keep her going during her competitions and that sort of thing. And that was, we were able to then maybe take some of that information and flip it into our world and say, is that applicable and can we use some of that? So I think that hearing it, being able to apply it, actually listening to somebody that's already applied it, and you just, I mean, we only have one shot at this, trying to get this, making sure that we're healthy, and it's just, you just cannot, we can't afford to mess that up. I think we have to just continue to put the information in front of the young people and continue to try to make those modifications so that they can make some wise choices, because there are a lot of things out there to choose from. My hope is that the information will have impacted families, that not only will they start looking at some of the predetermining factors as far as some of the health indicators, whether it be healthy lifestyle, meaning the activity as well as the water consumption, as well as fruits and vegetables, as well as getting off the couch, getting moving, those kinds of things, because we know that those indicators fall straight into some of those illnesses later in life, whether it's a diabetic or whether it's some chronic issues or chronic conditions. And so if there's just one family that gets moving a little bit faster or a little bit quicker, and a youngster that gets started with that, then maybe it'll be something that'll be almost a life sport or a life lesson that they'll continue. Maybe they will grow their children and maybe even end up working in the health world, because they are so sold on making sure that they're healthy.